They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman, coming from poverty, and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
People don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you. There we go. Welcome everybody to the Napoleon Hill weekly training here with the Napoleon Hill Institute. I'm blessed to be here. We are in Indianapolis at the convention center. I want to thank everybody. We do have a dinner left over here, and then off to the Aspire Business Tour in Minnesota, then over to the University of Colorado meetup in Denver. We got prime time. That's Deion Sanders and Marshall Faulk, Hall of Fame running back. And then we'll be in Los Alamitos filming the #1 show on Cheddar. Go Fund Yourself. Then Boise, Idaho. Then Ad Week in New York City, Guatemala, Washington, D.C., L.A., and Miami. If I named your city, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Also, get into our text community to be invited, not obligated to all of these things. 949-298-2905 is our text community. If you do not want to be invited, don't text me at 949-298-2905. But let's get right to it. Here in Indianapolis, I want to thank everybody. Today's training, the Napoleon Hill Institute weekly training, Building Wealth. And it's something I'm being asked about so much of the time is, how do I build wealth, and understanding what wealth is. For me, wealth is the ability to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, for as long as I want. And you can't expect to be able to do that at the beginning of your journey. This is a wealth building objective. You need to build wealth to be able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. It is no other way to get there. But that is truly being wealthy. A lot of people can make more money, but are they truly wealthy? Can they do what they want? There's a lot of people out there with billions of dollars in high-powered positions that are stuck with golden handcuffs, and they are the polar opposite of being able to do what they want, with who they want, when they want, for as long as they want. So we're going to work on building wealth today. And wealth is created twice. First in your mind, then in the marketplace. Napoleon Hill codified principles that built titans like Carnegie and so many others like Ford. Today, leaders like Musk and Oprah and Buffett and Jobs and Gates prove those same fundamentals still compounds the results that we want or better. And this training, which I will make available to everyone, you can have the guide and exercise. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. Get the guide and exercises, replays for free, because you can't get it the first time around. This training turns these timeless ideas into a modern playbook. We want to clarify a definiteness of purpose. We want to fuel it with faith and apply specialized knowledge organized in your own plan to what you want, to where you want to be or better, in a divine direction, and align with a mastermind, the meaning of the past, the failure, setbacks, mistakes that limit your self-image, knowing you'll never overachieve your own self-image. Decide and persist in a consistent process through the reaction of fear into a response to stop, drop, and roll. You'll leave with proof points and processes and a practical cadence, a hypnotic rhythm, daily, weekly, monthly, annually, to build not just a fortune, but build a life of freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want, with great impact, fulfillment, passion, purpose, and profitability. It's this mission that the commissions follow. And so the first lesson in what we're doing is to have clarity of harmony and motion. Excessive worrying drains or interferes with our energy. It interferes with our creativity, interferes and distorts our focus. We can't pay attention or give intention if we don't have that clarity of harmony and motion. Strategic foresight is valuable. Awareness is even more. But when it turns into anxiety, it stalls or interferes the decisions, and the delays compound, not the objective of the results or the outcomes. An entrepreneur fixates on this hypothetical competitor and launching their products or attaching their emotions to outcomes or neglecting the serving of their current clients for what they think they want in the future. They forfeit opportunities and options and touches of favor, referrals and testimonials, and they lose their momentum. They interfere with their energy. Trust that the future solutions will emerge as you move. Faith isn't an excuse to wait. It's the fuel to take you to the next step right now. Develop the resilience through learning to love what you don't like or love. Learning to love what you don't like or love about what you love or what you don't love. When we stay present and focused and utilize strategies and frameworks and processes, that we can choose different things in different hours and reverse them and test them and allow them to serve our current clients. We can set near-term 24-hour objectives in a divine direction, elevating our awareness to the lessons to be learned to transform the detours into its divinity as well. Utilize time in non-negotiable and negotiable behaviors. Use the now window. Do it now. 100% of the things you do now get done to execute. No forecasting, no inbox. Just utilize capturing the proof points, the clues, the patterns to make better choices each day, to reinforce the actions over anxiety. I've created top 10 lessons of building wealth, and starting with one in which Napoleon Hill is his favorite, which is the definiteness of purpose. The number one lesson of building wealth is to have a definiteness of purpose. Clarity cuts confusion. It attracts everything in its mission: capital, talent, and time. Elon Musk's multi-planetary purpose aligns Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink. It allows him to have a clear, definite action plan non-negotiables and negotiables. Nobody utilizes time for productivity, accessibility, and gratitude than Elon Musk. So many of my people I work with, they'll tell you, well, I've heard you only should focus in on one thing. You can't build several well, I would disagree. Look at Elon Musk. He has 3 of the biggest, most successful businesses, life-changing, earth-shattering businesses, because he understands the definiteness of purpose and applies his why to the reality of time, to the reality of skills, knowledge, and applies his why, his desire. Purpose is a filter. Purpose is a filter. It doesn't serve the mission. It's a distraction. Write 1 sentence to explain your purpose. List the initiatives that directly serve it, and then eliminate any of the things that interfere with it. Definiteness of purpose is one of the top 10 lessons of building wealth. The second lesson of building wealth: faith is your greatest asset. If you want to build wealth, you better know you're protected, promoted, loved, and perfected, because the majority of your journey of building wealth is going to be one in which there's no evidence, or the evidence is contrary to where you want to be. And in order to continue on when there's no evidence, or the evidence is contrary to where you want to be, you have to have faith that although you don't understand the evidence, or you don't know the evidence, or it doesn't look like you are getting the results that you are looking for in the time that you wanted, the emotion that you wanted it, or value that you wanted it, you got to have faith that it just means you don't know what you don't know. You're utilizing faith as a predisposition to getting to where you want to be, not the disposition. Some people call it surrendering. I don't. I call it faith, a predisposition of where I want to be, or better, no matter what the results are or what I think the results are. Conviction, a faithful conviction, will endure long enough for competence to compound. And competence will lead to confidence, and confidence will lead to comfortability, and comfortability will lead to ease, and ease will lead to the dissipation of the interference of the information, intelligence, intuition, inspiration that's needed to get you to where you want to be in building wealth, to get you to a place where you can do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. Oprah's unwavering belief in her own voice built a global platform. It was the conviction that created the competence that created the confidence that created the mission that created the miracle. Faith precedes, it's a predisposition to proof, and then it invites it, it attracts it, it explains it, and it creates it. Start a daily evidence log so that you can see the light, the love, and the lessons. You can see small wins, but also see where you didn't know what you didn't know, so that each time the evidence isn't aligned with where you want to be, you will have faith that you're going to get there anyway because of past experience. You're giving a meaning to the past aligned with where you want to be or better, not limiting your self-image, knowing you will never overachieve your own self-image. And when we revisit the evidence, we will see that we now can make better, big decisions from the experience of the evidence log where the evidence wasn't there, or it was contrary to where I want to be or better. Being able to utilize faith as your greatest asset combined with the definiteness of purpose. The third lesson of building wealth is one in which Einstein was one of the greatest at, which was applying specialized knowledge. Einstein wasn't really a good mathematician. He was one of the greatest applied mathematicians. So he would apply the math that he knew, the science that he knew, in specialized knowledge. Today, information is extremely cheap. It is the application, the applied knowledge that creates value. So easy to come up with a training outline or a training course or whatever it may be, but it's the applied special knowledge to an outline, to a training course, that will create the value. Value is created by giving people more of what they like, what they don't, taking away what they don't like, giving them more of what they know, taking away what they don't know, giving more of what works, takes away what doesn't work. Warren Buffett turns knowledge into disciplined, patient allocation. Warren Buffett understands how to apply specialized knowledge without putting resistance of timely fashion into his decision making. He utilizes this discipline to be patient, to allow what he wants to occur, exponential growth of income in its own time. To get this edge, the edge will equal knowing where your knowledge outperforms the market, other people, product, services, or solutions, or brands. Understanding we can have an edge by understanding that knowing where knowledge outperforms, where it makes the difference by applying it. Identify your specialty. Identify it through the skills and knowledge that you have. Or is your desire your specialty? Do you have an unwavering desire to be that what you must be, even though you don't have the knowledge or specialized experience or expertise, but you will not quit? Ship one applied project this week and tied to it. So make sure you identify the specialty and create an applied project with it. The fourth lesson is imagination. Imagination is what creates riches. You can iterate or innovate, but both require one thing: imagination. You cannot iterate, co-command, co-create, or innovate if you don't utilize your imagination. That's why reading is so important, because reading develops the imagination. It also develops the skill set of knowing what's real and what's not real, what's fake and what's not fake. Steve Jobs fused design and tech to reimagine, innovate, and iterate entire categories of products, services, and solutions. He understood that the imagination is which is going to create the riches he desired. Too bad he didn't desire the richness of health, because as he learned late on in his life, that if you're healthy, you get as many wishes, as many imaginative, innovative ways to live your life. But if you're unhealthy, you only get one. Having a synthetic imagination improves as well. So utilizing LLMs and ChatGPT and AI in order to improve the synthetic imagination, to escalate and accelerate and compound this creativity, this co-creativity, this imagination that invents and invents itself to use in both scenarios. Imagination and synthetic imagination will help us create riches. Make sure that we practice weekly the remix or the reinvents. Create sessions where we're remixing or reinventing the product, services, or solutions or processes that are in place today. Make it easy by identifying the dis-easy, by elevating the awareness with a higher frequency through the imagination, the co-creation that creates these riches. Number 5 lesson of building wealth: organize planning wins. Organized planning wins. A weak plan can be fixed. No plan fails silently. So many of us don't put together a plan. We're afraid God will laugh at us because God loves to laugh at a well-developed plan. But creating the plan itself, an organized plan, wins, even a weak one, because they evolved. It's those that don't have any plan that fail silently. Bezos is a great example of this. If you look at where he started selling books out of his garage in an Amazon bookstore, and then having it be an everything store, and then AWS, and then media and methodology. The amazing transformation, expansion of Jeff Bezos, learning as he goes to organize a plan that won. Not the original plan, not a winner. Selling books from his garage, but the everything store to everyone in a matter of minutes. The media and methodology that he created is one of the most earth-changing businesses ever created. Sequence the speed of awareness, the frequency. Sequence beats speed. The right steps, the right order, organizing them in place, a sequence of activities, funnels, all types of different opportunities, options, and touches of favor that are organized and planning to win. When we draft a plan with objectives, milestones, owners, dates, and risks, when we have a go, no-go plan to manage and develop a vision that is a victim of time, emotion, and value changing instantly after we come up with the plan, understanding how we organize and continue through this go, no-go plan. If anybody would like the go, no-go plan to help people understand how we're going to get to where we want to be or better after a decision or an agreement has been made, whether it's written, oral, implied, or with consideration without, we need to know that a weak plan can be fixed, but no plan fails silently. Organized planning with managing and developing expectations. Get a go, no-go plan. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The sixth lesson of building wealth. The sixth lesson of building wealth is the mastermind alliance of the incredible Napoleon Hill. We need to align our minds and multiply the outcomes and shorten the learning curves, the distance of resistance through wisdom and faith. This mastermind alliance can be seen in a variety of different places with different people, as we have Brandon Page and Schmidt guided through the scalability of Google to utilizing it as a holy moly trillion-dollar outcome. Complementary genius and solitary brilliance have to be conformed into a definiteness of purpose to allow us to have faith and apply our specialized knowledge to increase our imagination, our riches, and then organize them to manage and develop a go, no-go plan. Complementary genius is greater than solitary brilliance. Utilizing the expression of God, my definition of genius, through others and allowing others to do it through themselves. Equal or greater than the solitary brilliance that exists in a social silo, never to be seen. Utilize a 3 to 5 person mastermind. Meet regularly. Schedule with clarity, balance, harmony, and focus. A clear agenda attached to KPIs. The collective consciousness is powerful, more powerful than anything else. A group of well-intentioned definiteness of purpose people can change the world with this formula of a mastermind, an alliance. The seventh lesson of building wealth: decision and discipline. Slow decisions bleed momentum. Waffling erodes trust. Note that there is no right decision. There's just decisions. And those decisions will gain us the knowledge to see how quickly we can aggregate and accelerate the outcomes we desire. But waffling will erode the confidence, trust, and comfortability that others have in us. We need to be decisive in our decision making. One of our good friends, Sarah Blakely, chose Spanx, invested $5,000, and stayed the course. She enjoyed the consistent, persistent pursuit of her potential, sticking to what she wanted, not what other people thought, not what was missing, not what she didn't have. And this commitment created capacity, much more capacity, so she could go ahead and limit nothing in her business, especially her self-image. Sarah Blakely at Spanx stayed the course, and commitment created its capacity. I will repeat that. It is her commitment that created its capacity. Adopt a rule or two. Utilize time within the context of that rule. Adopt a 48-hour rule for meaningful choices and schedule the first disciplined action immediately. I have daily, weekly, monthly types of decision-making practices, and I utilize the meaning of the past to make sure that this is not only a disciplined action, but we do it immediately. Be like Sarah Blakely, stay the course. Waffling will erode where you want to be or better. It is where we are bleeding that we can declare our decisions and not bleed our momentum. The eighth lesson of building wealth: persistence overcomes resistance. What you resist persists. Most quit at the compounding thresholds. There's 3 compounding thresholds in any consistent, persistent behaviors that we have. The first threshold, within the 1,000 steps that it takes to get to where you want to be with anything important in our lives, the first threshold takes 90% of our time, emotion, effort, and money. The first threshold is at 250 steps. Most people quit before they get to the first threshold. 99% or so of the people quit before they get to that threshold. Where the next threshold, 500 steps, from the exponentiality of the efforts and behaviors in a consistent, persistent manner, takes only 5% of the time, emotion, and value extra over what it took to get to 250 steps. We now can get to 500 steps, even though another 99% of the 1% will quit. And then finally, to get to 1,000 steps, once again, it's only another 5% of the time, emotion, and value, but most people quit again. 99% of the 1% quit because they're not there yet. They start looking at what they don't have, what's missing, what they think they have, what they think they want to have, and what other people think. And they never get there. One of my favorite stories is a story about how I was walking on London, and I looked down, and this homeless woman had a pad of paper completely written and scribbled on, etc. Seemed crazy to me, and then offered me to buy this pad of paper for $1 million. That seemed outrageous to me. Understanding that it wasn't the paper, but the persistence that overcomes the resistance, I didn't know that J.K. Rowling was offering me the unbelievable story that she had written, making her the richest woman in the UK, billions of dollars. Consistency is the mother of confidence and comfortability. You got to be consistent in the persistence. You have to be consistent in learning to love what you like or love about what you don't like or love or what you do love. Understanding the importance of consistency with non-negotiable and negotiable behaviors will help to accelerate, aggregate, and compound exponentially the outcomes that we desire, allowing us to track the touches, track the attempts, track the iteration, track the acts, set these non-negotiables daily, weekly, and monthly at a minimum amount of time. The 9th lesson to building wealth, overcoming, or how do we respond to fear, and understanding the devil of the doubt, what we don't want, what's missing, what we don't have, what other people want for us. Fear narrows vision. Faith widens options. Richard Branson entered his airlines and space by refusing to respond to the natural reaction to fear. He utilized that as a strategy. Courage is an action, he said, with fear, not without it. You can't be courageous without being afraid. List your top 3 fear blocks. Design the smallest reversible test for each. Be what you can be. Know that your desire is relegated by the desire to be what you can be. Understanding your relationship to fear, how you overcome it with the responses to the reaction to fear, and devil a doubt. All of these will help you to shorten the distance of resistance from the reaction of fear and the response in the devil of doubt to interfere with our potential. And then finally, the 10th lesson of wealth to build wealth. Wealth is a state of consciousness. It's a state of consciousness to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. Money without meaning is malnutrition. I'm going to repeat that. Money without meaning is malnutrition. To finish up, Tony Robbins ties prosperity to purpose. And he donates millions and millions of dollars in meals to help facilitate, to make easy the meaning of malnutrition. True riches equal health, relationship, peace, impact. Money only amplifies them. Money allows you to shop. If you shop for the right things, you'll be happy. If you buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like, you won't be happy. This last lesson of the consciousness of wealth allows us to create a whole wealth dashboard. Health, relationships, impact, and monthly review. Utilize the consciousness of wealth. Learn to do what you want to do with who you want to do it and how you want to do it and when you want to do it for as long as you want to do it. Know that building wealth is a matter of I am, not this is what I want people to think I am. 10 top lessons of building wealth. Have a definiteness of purpose. Know that faith is your greatest asset. Be like Einstein and apply your specialized knowledge. Understand your imagination creates riches. Understand how we use a go, no go plan, that organized planning does win, even though God does laugh. Use the mastermind alliance, a higher self, a collective consciousness to get and do where you want to be or better. Understand persistence and consistent behavior will overcome the response to the reaction of resistance. It is wisdom and faith that will shorten the distance of resistance. Overcome the fear through the reaction and response to it, and understand that the devil is of the doubts. If you're looking for what you don't want, you'll get more of it. Learn that wealth is a state of consciousness, a mindset, a heart set, a handset. That money without meaning, without relativity, is malnutrition of the soul. Principles don't age. They accelerate. They aggregate. They compound exponentially. When you anchor to purpose, act with discipline and faith, surround yourself with aligned partners, and persist past resistance, shortening it with wisdom and faith, wealth becomes a byproduct of who you are and how you can operate, or who you can become. Measure success in both money and meaning. Audit fear versus faith. And execute one bold, reversible step today that moves you towards that plan. Write your definiteness of purpose. Recruit your mastermind. Publish your go, no go plan, and take action now. 100% of the things you do now get done. This marketplace rewards the clarity, the harmony, and focus to put things in motion. This has been the Napoleon Hill Institute weekly training, Building Wealth. If you like the exercises, the guides, or books on this, if you'd like my help, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Come and visit us tonight in Indy, Minnesota for the Aspire Tour tomorrow, Diamond Lunch, VIP dinner, and then to Denver meetup. Be out at Colorado with Prime Time, Deion Sanders and Marshall Falk. Then we'll be filming Go Fund Yourself in Los Alamitos, and then to Boise, Idaho for a keynote holding court and meetup. Adweek, Guatemala, DC, Los Angeles, Miami, all available. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Hit it, Gigi.
They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman, coming from poverty, and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
people don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you.